Well, welcome everyone to today's learning tournament with our feature lecturer today, Zednik Ziska, whose nickname is ZZ to most of the backgammon community, but I am personally giving him a new nickname, and that is the Quiet Storm. He has all the attributes of walking into a room, smiling, and then sitting across from an opponent, storming his way to victory. Some of his achievements are winning the Monte Carlo Open Consolation 2017, the semifinal Monte Carlo Open 2019, two-time quarterfinalist of the Gibraltar main event, semifinalist of the Super Jackpot in Montenegro 2019, semifinalist of the Super Jackpot Cyprus 2017, and finishing third in one of the biggest Georgian tournaments in Tbilisi in 2018. He is giving lessons. He does commentary on various tournaments around the world, and he's such a super nice young man. 23 years old, rising out of the ashes of backgammon and being well known around the world. Welcome today, the Quiet Storm, ZZ Zednik Ziska.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Antoinette. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for a very nice introduction. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. Before I introduce myself, just for my part, and say a few things about myself and about the project I'm working on, I want you to think about one question, which I'm going to ask in a moment. I want you to think about a topic which interests you the most in backgammon. For example, I will say bag games, but you can't say bag games because that's not what we're going to talk about today. But if you're say interesting topic, what interests you, what you would like to get to know more information about, I'll ask in a moment. So I'll be happy to answer some questions and maybe put some positions, because for today, just think about it now. I'll introduce myself and tell you what's going to be happening today. So thank you, Antoinette, again for introducing me. I'm Zizi, I'm 23 years old, and I'm playing and teach professionally backgammon. I'm working on a project. I started a project, Backgammon Coaching, which is basically everything on social media. It's got a YouTube channel where you can see free content, free videos, where you can learn a lot of stuff. There is regular content every week with positions of the day and with playing against fans. Then we've got Facebook positions, we've got Instagram account, and the biggest thing what we are preparing is backgammon courses. The idea of courses is that they can take you up from an intermediate level, basically beginner level, and then can take you up to the world-class player, giving you up all the knowledge you need to know, you need to think about, and then of course you need to experience it, and it gives you a shortcut to become a very good player. So today what we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna show you as many things as possible, how to think about the game in the modern approach, how to approach the game easily in a simple way with no need mathematics or some difficult, complicating stuff. It will be simple, easy, and you will feel that you understand either the topic or the game in general. So I will be sharing my screen if I make it somehow possible. I hope you can see my screen, if anybody can confirm it. Can you see the green board?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So now the question comes, What interests you? What topic do you find the most important? Now I cannot see anybody, so I don't know who will be talking, but if anybody can talk, I don't know if it's allowed in the Teams. But what interests you the most?
I
What
have
would you
muted
like
everybody, so if you want to ask a question, make sure you unmute yourself and then go ahead and ask your question.
Please don't be afraid to ask questions. We're all learning here. Please don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, Karen is raising her hand.
For me, it's always the doubling cube. So
Okay.
those are my biggest errors. What are your techniques?
Okay, great. Okay, thank you, Karen. Let's start with that, yeah, with the doubling cube. Before we go to what I've prepared and what I want to show you, this topic, the doubling cube, I just want to show you how complex and how easily I can improve your game with the cube. It's going to be all about the mindset, what we want to be having when we are thinking about the cube. It all starts at the beginning of the game, right? We are not going to complicate it, and we are just going to talk about normal score, yeah? Let's say you are in a tournament, you are playing your first tournament, and your first tournament match to 13 points. So how should you approach the doubling cube? How should you approach the cube in general? What should be your mindset? How to know when to double? You're playing, right? The game develops somehow, you make the anchor, you got a good position, but you don't know when it's a good time to double. What's important mindset to have when you should start thinking about the cube? You should most importantly start thinking about doubling cube when you've got market losers. Market losers are rolls which will turn the take into a pass. Okay, so for example, this position, if we could have seen, this would be no double and a big take, right? But for example, if we roll double fives, then, well, that's going to become a pass, right? So this is something what's called market loser. Yeah, market losing sequence, to be precise. So when we roll double fives, our opponent dances. Now we've got ourselves a big pass. Okay. So during the tournament, during a match, when you are thinking about the cube, you want to be basically comparing, in theory, all the market losers, which means good rolls, good things, what can happen to you when it will become a pass. Ideally, a big pass. So that's step number one, what we are searching. We are searching a position where there are so many good rolls, there are many good rolls, where it will become a pass. Okay, so, oh, okay, it's not for me. So for example, as we could have seen in this position, let's say we roll 6-5. We could have seen that it was a small no double, right? This is a small no double, for example, let's take. Why is that? Well, let's see what our good rolls are. Our great roll, we would be extremely happy if we roll something like 6-5 or 6-3, right? So we take ourselves a good roll, 6-5 or 6-3. We almost cannot wish better, right? We could have wished for double fives, of course, or double threes maybe, but, well, let's be realistic, yeah? 6-5, very, very good roll, right? And opponent is probably going to enter somehow, right? 2-1, 1 something, doesn't matter. And now it's still going to be a take. So now, even if we rolled our best roll, we still didn't lose our market loser, which means we are not. Sorry, what was that? Okay. So we didn't lose our market loser, so everything is okay. So we need to be searching positions which are where these market losers are there more good things, what can happen, than bad things. Because the good thing here isn't the 6-5, because 6-5, he's just gonna enter and it's still a take, right? So the only time we would feel sorry that we didn't double if we wrote double 5s or double 3s, yeah, and maybe some other few sequences. Okay, so this is what we compare here. Good sequences where it will be a pass, double 5s, double 3s, but we need to compare it with what bad can happen to us. And that's most likely, well, if we roll something normal, let's say 4-2, 4-1, 2-1, let's give ourselves 2-1. So we will play 9-7, 8-7. Opponent can anchor up and it will not be good. Opponent can make a 5-point, it will not be that good. Or if we don't make a 7-point, let's say we roll 5-2. So let's say we will choose to or 5-4. So we choose to make the 4-point, for example. Not sure if that's right, but that doesn't matter for now. And again, what bad can happen to us? Opponent can anchor again, roll 6-4, he can escape, 6-3, 6-5. So a lot of bad things can happen. So the mindset should be, when you are thinking about the cube, you should compare what good can happen versus what bad can happen. Here, not so many good things, but more like a bad things. That's why a small no double. It's close. Okay. So this is regarding the doubling cube. Regarding whether to double or not. Regarding whether to take or pass, especially some difficult positions, this I've got actually, I've recorded 2 like 30-minute videos on blitzes, when to take and when to pass the cube. I'm gonna show you one thing which can help a lot. Let's say we've got a blitz going on, right? Blitz means attack. So let's say we've got something like this position. And now blitzes are always very tricky, right? I mean, if we are blitzing our opponent, it's always scary. Yeah. Some blitzes are takes. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger take because this is just a small one. I want to make it a bigger one, just so it's really clear. So for example, this is a scary position, right? So we definitely have to double as green because of the reasons we've just said. We can destroy our opponent easily. We can roll 6-4, make some points, and if opponent enters, he's in deep trouble, right? So especially in blitz positions, when we are pressuring opponent, we need to be turning the cube because we want to put the pressure and we want to maximize our points to win, if we win, right? Now, that tricky question, when to take and when to pass. There is something what I call take story and the pass story. Usually, in blitzes, you know that you're gonna hit your opponent, right? So here, if let's say, well, now I would have preferred to put the checker on the 4 just so it's more clear. Let's say we roll 6-3. So we play 13-4, we blitz, we continue fighting, right? Now, this is the serious 2 questions which we're gonna ask. If white gets lucky and he hits, how big of a game does he have? Did he just stay in the game, or does he have a big game? Well, if he rolls a 4, let's say just a 4, he kind of has a big game, right? I mean, suddenly it's anybody's game. I mean, we can see now it's like 50-50. White is in a great position and he's got back in the game, right? When we say that he has a big game, it's a good first step to take the cube. Second step, what we need to check is, what if white doesn't get lucky? What if he rolls like 5-2, 5-1, 2-1 or something like that? Well, now, if he gets unlucky, we need to ask ourselves a second question. Are we losing gammon immediately? Or do we still have some backdoor chances? By backdoor chances, I mean to anchor up later, maybe hit later, because opponents got still so much work, and so on. So this is exactly this case, yeah? If we get unlucky and we roll a 2, then, well, opponent's probably somehow gonna cover this and we will have another chance to anchor up, which means we will have many backdoors. Okay, so this is the take story. How would the pass story look like? The pass story would look like, oh, I have to put one more checker where it was, let's say here. Let's make it smaller pass. This is the same position. I just basically edited this. Yeah, this was like a take, let's say. This is a pass, right? So what's the difference? What this story sounds like. We know that we are getting hit. Yeah, we know that we are getting hit. Now, if we get lucky, do we have a big game or did we just stay in the game? Well, I mean, green is going to enter and attack us immediately again, which was happening before as well. But before, green was behind, I mean, in our home board, right? So it was kind of a great game for white. Now, even if green enters, he's still a huge favorite, yeah? And he's just gonna probably win the game anyway. So if we get lucky, we barely stay alive anyway. If we don't get lucky, we just get destroyed. Yeah, because now he will not have too much work. If we hit him, it doesn't hurt him too much because, well, he's not stuck here like that. He's escaped and he's got no problem bringing checkers home. So these are the main ideas and main things how I think about the cube. And of course, cube is a very, very complex topic. And there are many more positions like holding games, back games, which we can talk about. But I believe this is most common, the way to know, and most important, to know how to think about whether to cube or not. As we've said, we are comparing good things when it will become a pass. We really need to focus on only when it becomes a pass. And we are comparing with what bad can happen in the next sequence, in the next rows, in the next one row, yeah? Then whether it's a take or pass, if it's a blitz, we are deciding like this. This is very, very, very useful and effective. Yeah, so this is the cube action somehow. I hope it helped and hope this take story and pass story, once you try to experience this, you will be certain for sure as well. Okay, so thank you, Karen, for the cube. It was that's very important, and yes, cube is one of the most important aspects of the game. Now let me show you another topic, my favorite topic. Just let me confirm, can you see the 3-2 position?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay, I hope yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now what we are going to talk about is, the topic of it is asset or liability. I'm going to show you whether the prime is an asset or a liability, how to play, how to clear points, and what matters in these positions. So if we've got 3-2 like this, we are 33 pips up. So here we can certainly say that we are not blocking him anything, right? We can never lose the race. When I say never, I mean it's not likely. Of course, it can happen. Opponent can roll twice double sixes. That can happen. But most likely we are not going to lose the race, right? So in this case, the prime, the points outside are just a liability. We are not blocking anything because even if opponent rolls double sixes, he's probably not even escaping, yeah? Or if he is, we don't care. So this is important to realize. It's got no value in an asset, not at all. So it's just a liability. Although, why am I showing this? Because this was probably obvious, right? This was probably obvious that we are so much up in the race, so we want to be clearing, and we want to be clearing from the back because that's the point which got the biggest liability, right? But why am I showing it? Well, I'm showing it because now we are 11 pips up. After the roll, we will be 16 pips up. So you may say, well, I mean, by the way, it's closed, but you may say, sure, so let's clear the same way, right? I mean, 16 pips up, we still can't lose the race. But now this is where the idea starts. Now we can lose the race. We can gain by blocking him. Suddenly, this point can be an asset. Suddenly we can try to block him, maybe make him crunch and lose the race even more. Yeah. In this case, it's close, but I mean, it's still like an extreme, right? We are 16 pips ahead after the roll, and it's good to still do the deuce point. I'm showing it here on this example that 16 pips, for example, yeah, because one would say what I usually hear is, well, I'm up in the race, so I should just clear from the back, right? And people say these are like rules. But I stand by the opinion that there are no rules in backgammon because, well, then we hear people saying, okay, this exception and millions other exceptions, right? But then the rule is not really telling us anything when there are so many exceptions. So what I like to use is different type of logic and trying to find a pattern, trying to see what matters in a position, not finding a rule, but seeing how it works, understanding the position. That's going to be the key. So what if I tell you that once you can lose the race, once you can benefit from blocking him to make him crunch, because that's what can happen, right? If we play 5-2, 4-2, let's say 5-2, 4-2, what's he gonna do? We know what's going to happen. He's gonna bring these two checkers in probably, right? Or just one, who knows? Somehow. Now, we will start clearing points probably. Depends what we roll. If we roll 3-2, we don't need to do that. We can use our block, our prime, like an asset to destroy him. So if we roll small numbers, this is a perfect thing to do, right? Because now we don't want to just let him out. If we let him out, he's going to have a good race. Again, if we play 6-1, now he has to crash. Now he's going to have wastage, and now we gained a lot. We gained something, and that's important. So I hope everybody can feel now that we are gaining something, right? That if we can gain something, if we can make him crash, or if we can make him not escape on his double sixes or double fives, it's a great win for us, right? Now, of course, the other side of the coin. What price do we have to pay? What's the risk of not clearing the point? Well, the risk would be that we would be leaving a shot in the future, right? That's the risk. But well, against just one anchor, how likely are we going to leave a shot? I mean, we can clear one point. I mean, we can clear any point. We don't have any bad numbers. We can clear our point anytime we want and in any way we want, yeah? I mean, we would need to get extremely unlucky to leave a shot from this. So what I'm saying, when there is some chance that we can lose the race, that's the most important. Yeah, if we are just 10 pips up in the race, it's not enough. We can lose the race. That means our prime becomes an asset. That means it's a big asset. It's got some small risks, but when it's a bigger asset, we can just focus on that, right? So that's why we just keep the 6 prime here, even though we are up in the race. Yeah, again, here it's close. Well, if I make it few pips less, then it will be bigger and bigger. So the lesson from this one is that even if you are up, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be clearing points. Okay, so this is first thing. Second thing, what if there are 2 anchors? Which point will we be? If there are 2 anchors, it's like a backgammon, right? I mean, it's more likely going to be, let's say, like this. Now it's a backgammon, so we are 60 pips up, so we can never lose the race, right? So now the prime, the points outside are just a liability, right? So we need to be clearing them. We don't need to be keeping the prime, because prime, what's it good for? We are not blocking him because he will play with these checkers anyway. So now it's time to clear. And it's important to clear the 8 point first. And I'll give you 2 reasons why. First of all, you diversify the checkers, diversify the points. Now, with big numbers, you can clear the 9 point. With small numbers, you can clear the 7 point. So this is extremely powerful. If we would have cleared 7 point, now, well, we are kind of duplicating our numbers, yeah? And numbers like 6-1, 6-2 is going to leave a shot. Okay, so 8 point is key to clear. Why is the 8 point? Well, because that's the great opportunity to clear this point. You can see that 8 point and 7 point are both looking at 2 anchors, right? What it means is that he's putting a pressure on us with 2 anchors. 9 point, well, that's just one. I mean, that's just 1 point looking at us, yeah? So these 2 points are problematic. So we are clearing the 8 point. But theoretically, the only time where the prime still could be an asset, or we would like to clear from the back, is again when the block is the asset. And that's in the case again where he can crash. So we want to let him crash. If he rolls a 6, he escapes, we just crush him. If otherwise, everything he destroys himself. Now, if we would have cleared the 8, we are just giving him 5s and 6s where he just don't crash, right? But that's not what we want. We want to make him crash, right? So this is just like the basic idea how to approach these positions, how to be clearing points and when to be clearing points, when to be saving the prime. So hope this is clear, because this is one of my favorite topics, especially because we are basically keeping the prime and not clearing points even when we are up in the race, because we can use it as an asset. So I really like this idea because I mean, in past, when I was starting playing, let's say, I always just followed the race. I thought it's everything. So if I was up 5 pips, I would just clear the point, thinking it's good. But actually, understanding it more now, oh, I got something flying here. Understanding it more here, it can be an asset, and that's the only thing what's happening in the board. Yeah. So this is one topic I wanted to mention. This is from the middle of the game or end of the game, which I thought would be a good tip to give you. Now I wanted to talk about things in general, and that's beginning of the game. This is something I always like to start with my students, because when we are learning something, we need to have good basics, right? We need to know why we are doing things. We need to understand these things 100%. Sometimes they are boring. Yeah, I mean, everybody knows how to play first moves. Yeah, how to play 3-2 in this position, or that we should build a point with 4-2. Everybody knows this. Yeah, but there are big things which are coming from it. So let's talk about just the theory. If we roll 4-3, I'm not going to talk about 2 down now, but let's talk about this standard opening. Yeah. Why we are bringing checkers down? By bringing a checker down, we are creating ourselves so-called the attacking structure. What does the attacking structure mean? The attacking structure, which is this, means that if we are on the roll, we know that probably we are going to make some kind of very good point. We are going to make either 5 point, 4 point, 7 point, maybe 3 point. Yeah. You can name few numbers. Yeah, you can name 2-1, 5-2, 4-1, 4-3. Everything makes a point. So this is such a powerful structure. So that's why we are bringing a checker down. Why we are splitting the back checkers is because we want to be getting the anchor. We don't want to be getting stuck. Now, why am I saying that? I will be following it. Let's say opponent rolls that 4-3. And now, let's say he rolls 4-1. And now we've got 4-3 to play. So opponent plays, let's say standard opening, he played 4 down and he split with the 1, right? With that 4, he created that attacking structure. We know what it means in theory now, right? We know that if we let him play, he is going to make a very good point. And we don't like that. We don't want him to make an inside point, right? So there are a few things what we can do against it. One option is to hit. If we hit, then we take away half of his throw, right? Or we take away quarter of his throw, but usually half of his throw, right? So one option is usually to hit. In the future, in some other options, that would be if opponent is going to build something, then we want to prepare ourselves to build something as well. But we're not going to talk about that case here. But we're going to talk about this 4-3. We are hitting not because we are fighting for that point. We are hitting because we want to prevent our opponent from something good happening. Now I'm going to let's prove this. Yeah, let's try to prove this. What would happen if we would have played just standard thing? If we would have played 39, 24, 21, what would happen? Because it's not something what we guess. We said we know what's going to happen, right? And that's always a good thing in backgammon. When you know that something is going to happen, you know that you understand the position and that you understand the current game and that you can easily make the best move because of it. Because if we make this move, if we don't hit, we know now that our opponent is going to either make a point on us, he's going to make the 5, maybe 9, maybe he's going to hit us here. So, simple question, what are you hoping for? What role would you be hoping for actually to see? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So, but exactly, yeah, this is what's going to happen. And for example, this is when some players, sometimes they feel unlucky, that they are unlucky, but there is like literally nothing else can happen that you're going to be pointed on or you're going to be hit or he's going to make some kind of nice point. There is nothing else going to happen. So if somebody makes this move and then let's say he complains about dice, then well, there was really nothing else was possible to happen. But if we look at this option where we defensively hit to prevent him from making something, we need to then split. Now we've got two options. He will either hit us or he will not hit us, right? If he hits us, we can just anchor with any 4 or any 3. Maybe we can hit with a 5. Bunch of stuff is working if he hits. So if he gets lucky, we are okay. We can have a good roll as well. If he doesn't hit, well, that's great. Then we are taking the initiative from him, right? Because what can he roll? So let's say we play 4, 3, and let's say he rolls 1, 6. So he enters on the 1, and let's say he will play the 6 here. Maybe he will play this, but doesn't matter now. Now we are going to have the initiative. We can be hitting and making a point, we can be anchoring up, and suddenly this is our future. So if I ask you, which future would you like to have? Would you prefer to have a future where you are not hoping for anything and he's gonna always make something good? Or would you prefer something where you've got actually something to hope for? And this is just the first roll or second roll, basically. Yeah, these things and this kind of thinking process, when we learn it here on the first move, we can be effectively using it in the next rolls when it matters even more. Yeah, so we are hitting not because we want to make that point, but because he's got the attacking structure. Then just generally in the beginning, what we are doing, what's happening generally in the game. In an early stage of the game, we are fighting for the good points, which is a 5 point and a 4 point. So, good tip, if you didn't know this yet, is when at the beginning you can fight for the 5 point or the 4 point, you start with that hit. Yeah, so opponent opens with 5, 4, and you roll 5, 3. You are not making the 3 point. Yeah, if you make the 3 point, your opponent can roll a 4 and everything is just over. Yeah, so general tip, always fight for the good points. Now, if you want to take this tip, like I just said, you can take it, it will help your game. Now, I'm going to tell you why is that as well. There is some concept which I like to use a lot, and that's risk reward. Imagine that we hit. And I'm going to ask you, first, if we get lucky, if he misses, we are definitely very, very happy, right? Because we are going to make that 5 point, we are all excited, and we gained, I would say, a lot. Yeah, I mean, we gained an advantage. Yeah, I hope everyone will agree with that. So we will gain something. What if it goes wrong? What if he hits? What if he rolls 3-2? What if he rolls 5-1? What if he just hits us? Well, what changed? I mean, not much. I mean, at the beginning, if we get hit, we don't care too much because we can use that checker to make the anchor. It's all just basically at the beginning, fighting for the advantage, fighting for the board. That's very, very important. Okay, so hope this beginning is clear. And yeah, so just the crucial thing, that risk reward. This is one thing what's happening in the first moves, right? Second thing, which may be a little bit more complicated, are doubles, and approach how to look at them. I'd like to give you some tips on how to play doubles because I feel like, well, you may know some general tips, so we will just review that, and then we will look at some interesting positions. Oh, the fly is here. Oh, so many flies. So let's say we opponent rolls what? Opponent rolls 2-1, and he plays it this way. And now, how do we play our doubles? So double ones in general, we can always make the 5 point, right? That's just perfect. Generally, we would love to make the 7 point as an upgrade, but not for the sake of leaving a shot. Yeah, so it's always nice to split. So this is just the general idea how to play double ones. Double twos, fighting for the good points, right? Which is the 5 point and a 4 point. That's what you want. And then the other two, well, 13-11, most likely to be the case. 13-11, because, well, this just brings you great power to make the 5, 7 extremely powerful. 20, I always say, how I always approach it, people ask me, why not to make the 22 point? It's the anchor, right? Well, if you make the 11, if you make 6, 4, 13, 11, I always say, I know, but I can make 22 point anytime I want, but I can maybe do even better, you know, because now I can even make 4 point anchor here or 5 point anchor. Next row, I can split my checkers and just aim higher, yeah? I can aim higher. So I don't need to just use my double twos to make the 22 point now. Okay, so double twos, we want to play 6, 4, 13, 11. But why did I say what I just said? Well, because if I can't make much better, now I cannot improve that much, right? I cannot do much better than the 22 point. I mean, okay, I could do 21 point, but well, now I have to be satisfied also with the 22. So once opponent draws 3-1, he kind of blocks the opportunity for me to make that 5 point anymore. So I cannot upgrade too much. So now I'm definitely satisfied with the 22 point. Also, I'm getting kind of primed, yeah. So if opponent somehow manages to make the 7, I really don't want to be stuck. Yeah. This is why we split checkers at the beginning. This is why we want to move them forward, because we don't wanna get stuck back. Okay. So this was double twos. Now we will have interesting thing about double threes, because suddenly we can't be making a good point. Yeah. I mean, 8-5, of course, we could do, but that leaves a shot, and we said that we're not going to do that. So what we are going to do now, we can make this anchor. As we know, now that becomes a great anchor. Yeah, these are the points everybody's fighting for, right? 5 point and 4 point. When I can make it, I'm going to make it. When I can make 4 point anchor or 5 point anchor, I'm going to make it. And what else I'm going to do? I'm going to prepare myself for the attacking structure so I can build any points I want. Same thing will be with double fours, basically the same approach. Double fives, usually you know that you just blitz. You just do that. It has, of course, many variations as well, but that's, I mean, well, we could talk hours about everything, right? And yeah, double six, you just play basically with the only way, and that's just always this. So before I'll show you some interesting ways how to play doubles, some tricky moments and so on, so you can be careful. What is something what I want to mention, because I mentioned the tournament play when we talked about the cube. With that double two, 24-22 can become good if you are winning at the score, because then priority changes, right? So if you are winning at the score, you are more likely to make the anchor and maybe even make this move. Yeah. So this is something I just don't want that you play a tournament or you play online match, and because I told you that you should always just do this, then you will see, oh, but this was actually correct. Well, I just want to point out that at scores where you are winning with double twos, you want to be making anchors very, very often, actually. So that's just what I wanted to point out. And now I don't know if I can ask you, because I don't know how the muted things work here and how to raise your hand is difficult. But how do you play double twos in this situation? If anybody could say, if not, it's okay. But how do you play double twos? And more importantly, why? What's your reasoning? I don't know if anybody's raising a hand, so or something like that, because yeah, Teams is just first time for me. But so how double twos to play, how to play double twos in this scenario? After the 6-4, we actually hit. And this is something what I feel like not many players are used to. And usually they just make the standard play. It looks beautiful, right? It really does. But what's problem with that? What are we hoping for? Opponent got the attacking structure. So if he's gonna, I mean, he's probably going to make a point. If he rolls a 6, he's going to kill everything we just built, right? Because this structure, I mean, when we build this structure, it looks powerful. We want to be attacking, blitzing, priming, doing something. If he rolls a 6, well, what can we do? There's just nothing, right? And if he doesn't roll a 6, well, then he's just making something great anyway. So we are taking the advantage by something different. And so this is just a tip I wanted to show. Hope we reviewed the doubles, we reviewed what to do at the beginning, how to approach some positions at the beginning, and that topic with asset or liability.
ZZ, what do you do with the 4-2?
With the 4-2 here in this situation?
Never mind. I'm being silly. Sorry.
You're not actually, because it's actually a very good question, because there is a difference between 4-2 and 3-1, whether to hit or not. And with 4-2 here, you should just hit. With 4-2, you are keeping yourself a very nice structure. And with 3-1, we can see that actually it's good to make the 5 point. So that was it's a good question, because 4-2, I mean, few years ago I was making 4 point, for example, because I don't know, it just felt comfortable. So with 3-1, if we would have hit, I mean, again, by the way, we can see it makes some sense. And good thing to notice, it is because of why? Because of that attacking structure. If we leave our opponent to play, he's making something. He's just doing something. He's gonna make the 5 point, so we will not have any advantage anymore. Yeah, but with 4-2, we are just hitting that straight away. Yeah, so I know we've got like 5 minutes more, so I just wanted to ask if any of you've got any topic you would like to get few tips on, or any position or any question, or then at the end I would like to show you something about the backgammon coaching, just aside. So any topic question or any question to the things we've been saying?
Yes, I have a question, Zizi.
Mhm.
What when you're playing a match and you're 2 away,
Mhm.
your opponent is 2 away,
Okay.
and or you're 2 away. What is the procedure that you should follow?
Okay. So there are two things which I would say. One, I would say to a beginner or player who is starting, to an intermediate player. And second, what I would say to a player who is who knows the game, I mean, and who understands. Well, this is actually a paradox question, because if somebody, what I would suggest is, if you are two-way, if somebody asks me the question, I say always double your opponent. Always double your opponent in the first roll. Yeah, that's what I would suggest. So let's say opponent starts with what, hero 6-5. I'm on the roll. I would suggest just double. Yeah, I'm suggesting just double. Don't care about anything and double. Why? Because if you don't double, then your opponent can take a great advantage of it. I mean, it can, okay, it's a good question because there is like a conflict of things. In theory, the player who understands the score more should be waiting more. So usually the better player understands the score more. So usually the weaker player should double immediately. That's like in the theory. Yeah. Realistically, if it's two-way, and somebody doesn't know the score, I mean, personally, I can notice when somebody doesn't know the score and how to perceive. So it's difficult to explain for like two other people, if you know what I mean. I know what I would like to do with some players, but basically how I perceive it is that against weaker players than me, I just wait with the cube and try to get some difficult positions because I have confidence in myself and I believe that I mean, I know the take point and I know when it will be a take or pass. Worst case, I will make a small mistake. I can adjust every single time, and yeah. But what I would suggest and what I would recommend at two-way, if you know that you are playing against a stronger player, then definitely double. 100% you should double against a stronger player. If I'm playing against Mochi, I'm doubling this every single time in the first row. If Mochi starts with 3-1, I'm doubling, and yeah, I just double. I mean, I don't care because I believe I would be losing a value, I think, if I don't double. I don't know. Then it would be just probably complicated and there would be just nothing in it. But yeah, short suggestion, if you feel that you are a stronger player than your opponent, you don't have to double, but you need to know something about two-way. If you don't know anything about it, just double. And if you are playing against a stronger player, then you should definitely double. So this is the takeaway. Or would you like to add anything, Antoine?
Yes, and if your opponent is 2 away and you're like 5 away or more,
Okay.
the question is, are you doubling automatically when your opponent has 2 away?
Oh no, oh definitely. Oh no. Definitely not. I will double volatile situations. If opponent is 2 away and I'm 5 away, for example, then I'm never doubling actually. I mean, I will double and I will have market losers, right? When I can, if I see a potential in winning a gammon, I will double very aggressively. So in volatile positions, I will definitely double early. Although in races, it would be actually the opposite. I don't want to cube. I mean, I actually never want to cube. Yeah, I mean, that's actually complete opposite of the theory because what theory says is that if it comes to the non-gammonish position, then the one who is winning prefers cube to be turned on his side. So it's actually really the opposite, that doubling automatically. So definitely not doubling automatically. That's never a good thing. You should always wait until you've got market losers, as I try to explain on Karen Davis wish, which was great. So is it good?
Yes, I hope everyone understands, because it's a pretty complicated situation when your opponent is 2 away, and most don't know whether it's right to double or wait. So,
Well, definitely not automatical cube, right? Because I mean, you should double definitely aggressively, very aggressively. Like if you make your 5 point and you are many away, more away than 5, let's say it's 2 away, 8 away, then for sure you double almost immediately, but not automatically because, well, if you, why to give away the cube, right?
right.
If you can still just lose 1 point and still have a good game. But yeah. So, and any more questions? If not, then I just like to use 1 minute of the time to show you the website where it's backgammoncoaching.com, and you can just click everything on here. You can just click on About Me. You can buy the book from the Galaxy shop. You can click on courses and just learn more about them. There is an intermediate course which got, I don't know, 14 videos, total of 6 hours, and you can learn more of what we talked about here: opening moves, double rolls, fighting for the key points. Then in the middle of the game, if you're up or behind in the race, how to approach the game in general, and something from the end game, and you can just go to the website and see. And then if you finish the intermediate course and would like to learn more and get your game to another level, then I created a Backgammon advanced course, which is a 9-hour course, and it's got, I think, 25 videos. Yeah, it got 25 videos, and I mean, everything I talk about there, yeah, I'm going to deep analysis, but don't worry, no difficult analysis, no difficult analysis. Deep analysis doesn't mean difficult, yeah? I'm trying to explain it in a simple way, trying to give easy and effective tips. For example, what I really like is leaving the 5-point anchor, 4-point anchor, or 3-point anchor. I believe that's like one of the most discussed topics. When to leave the anchor? Should I leave it now? Should I leave it later? And so on. And yeah, just talking about a lot of stuff over there. So make sure to check it out if you're interested. I'm just in the middle of the recording the world class course, which will be even bigger because I mean there's gonna be even more knowledge. So yeah, so I hope that's everything. And so any last questions, or now I don't know even how to stop sharing the screen. So oh, here probably. So any more questions?
Candace,
Yes, ma'am.
any questions?
No, ma'am.
Peggy? Sarah? Linda? I'm surprised there are no questions. You know,
One more
some,
Zizi, could you tell us the website we go to find out about your courses?
Oh yeah, it's backgammoncoaching.com. Backgammoncoaching.com. Thank you.
Thank you. It's terrific.
Thank you. Well then, thank you everyone for watching and being here and just spending a nice evening with me. Yeah?
yes, and morning for you. Way hours in the morning. Thank you so much, Quiet Storm.
Thank you so much, Antoinette. Karen, Candice, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Nice to meet you, everyone. Thank you so much. Hope to see you maybe in the US soon, or Karen in Monte Carlo, looking forward.
And Cyprus.
And Cyprus, yes.
Yes, for sure. All right, ladies, thank you very much for coming.